simming to everyone, I'm Valen, and this is the Not So Berry Challenge. Well, it will be, because this is only a cast video. I really wanted to show you all how I create my Sims, and while you watch the whole process, we can talk and get to know our main character a bit more before we properly start the challenge. So relax, grab something to drink, and let's talk about our Oliver boy right here. Before we start, make sure you hit the like button as it helps me so much, and please subscribe. Also, if you haven't watched the introduction video for this challenge, I highly recommend you pause this video and go watch it. It is a cinematic only video, very short, and it introduces some very important aspects of Oliver's story that we will be talking about here. So this is Oliver Berry. He is our main character and he is a mad scientist. As you saw in the introduction video, he is kinda like Dr. Frankenstein. I actually inspired myself in the Mary Shelley book, and since it is spooky season and Halloween is coming, I wanted to start this challenge with a bit of a twist, and I really like spooky and dark stories, and I thought, why not? Just a heads up, since this is kinda like a bonus video, I will explain the rules for this challenge in the first episode that will be coming out soon. In this video, we will be mainly focusing on the story behind the monster, so you don't have to watch it, you can just wait for the first episode to come out. So first of all, Oliver's personality is very complex. He is definitely not the good guy, but he genuinely believes he is doing everything for the right reasons. His story is very sad, and even though it doesn't justify every bad thing he does, it kinda helps us understand his dark, twisted mind. I plan to dig deeper into his past in upcoming videos and also shed light on Victoria's story, but that's for later. Please share your thoughts and theories and suggestions in the comments. Do you think there's any hope for Oliver, or is he destined to lose his mind and sanity forever? And please let me know what you think of their looks, whether they're cool or not. I will drop the links to the custom content used in the video description if you want to check them out. So for the story, Oliver has an older brother named Henry. Him and Henry lost their parents in a tragic accident when Oliver was only 3 years old. With no family to look after them, they found themselves at Greystone Orphanage, run by a kind guy named Professor Edmund Greystone. Now, this professor was no ordinary orphanage director. He was actually a renowned scientist who'd even founded the local lab, which will play a major role in Oliver's life later on. So, losing his parents and being separated from his family really messed with Oliver. He grew up with some resentment towards his brother. See, Henry got adopted by a loving family not long after they arrived at the orphanage, but Oliver didn't. He just didn't have the same luck. He got left behind, feeling all alone and unwanted. And he doesn't know, no one knows why no families wanted to adopt him. He actually got to meet some families that were interested in him, but the adoption never happened. And his only solace was diving into books about science, medicine, anatomy, physics, chemistry, and other stuff that usually doesn't interest a kid. And Professor Greystone noticed Oliver's potential and decided to be his personal mentor. Under the guidance of the old scientist, Oliver began to learn the secrets of science, and their relationship got deeper, and Oliver began to see the scientist as a father figure. So the time passed, and Oliver got enrolled in high school, and high school brought a fertile ground for Oliver's passion for science and knowledge, but there was something peculiar about him. It's like he didn't do liking the regular way. It was as if his heart could only give itself wholly to something or someone, plunging headfirst into an all-consuming obsession. And this peculiar trait stemmed from his childhood days of loneliness when he felt abandoned in the orphanage, unable to share the love of his parents, his brother, pretty much everyone. on. And then there's Victoria. Victoria was a brilliant young woman, just as passionate about science, who crossed paths with Oliver in high school. They started as friends, sharing their love for learning and research, but over time they formed a deep connection. For Oliver, it was intense. It was unlike anything he'd ever felt before. He was head over heels for Victoria, and he wanted to protect her, care for her, and make sure nothing bad ever happened to her. His life had purpose, and things were looking bright. His connection with Victoria unleashed a roller coaster of emotions and desires in Oliver. He wanted to be by her side, share dreams and plans, but at the same time, he felt unworthy of her love. This obsession grew, driving him to be the best in everything, not just for Victoria, but to prove his worth to the world. He needed to feel worthy of good things. Professor Greystone's encouragement to finish his studies and get a university degree became a personal challenge for Oliver. This challenge only fueled his determination to become a scientist everyone would remember. While Oliver was still struggling in college, his brother seemed to have it all. Henry had a seemingly perfect life with a loving wife, a house, and a successful career. Meanwhile, Oliver remained focused on his degree and his career. It felt like life had been unfair to him, while his brother and everyone else seemed to enjoy undeserved happiness. He had to work much harder to achieve even the little he had. So, after a while, he decided to propose to Victoria when they were still very young. They got engaged because Oliver was determined to prove he was an adult, capable, and that his love and effort would be enough to provide for their home. Victoria was the center of his world, and they dreamed of a long and happy life together. Then the tragedy happened, and Oliver's life changed forever. There was a terrible storm that caused a fire that destroyed the house he and Victoria were living in. In the cinematic, the house looks like a mess, but there was no rain. I actually forgot about this detail. The fire happened after the rain, so please just bear with me. The fire apparently started due to a short circuit after the storm, and it spread fast. Victoria was seriously hurt. She was inhaling a lot of smoke, and Oliver was stuck at the lab that day, and he took forever to get back home. When he arrived, he tried to rescue Victoria, but it was too late. Victoria didn't make it, and Oliver was filled with grief and guilt. The loss of the woman that he loved turned his obsession for her into something even darker. Like Dr. Frankenstein, Oliver was determined to bring Victoria back to life no matter the cost. Here's the thing. Oliver wasn't a bad guy. Before the accident, he just wanted to feel like he deserved all the good things that happened to him. Life had a way of reminding him that he was inferior to his brother and everyone else. He had to change who he was to fit in. He felt like he needed to be the best, but his deepest desire was to just have a normal life, build a family, and grow old with Victoria. It was the accident that unleashed this roller coaster of emotions in Oliver. The pain was just too much for him to bear, and seeing everything he had worked for reduced to ashes broke him. He started diverting resources and materials from the lab with the help of Professor Greystone. He began exploring questionable methods and risky experiments. He kept Victoria's body in the basement of a nearby rented house, where he conducted his experiments. His mind became a maze of despair and madness, with a thin line separating love from insanity. So basically, Oliver's personality got complicated. He became a master of manipulation and mischief, using his intelligence, charisma, and knowledge to influence people, especially Professor Greystone. He often got what he wanted through convincing speech, hiding his true intentions behind his dedication to science and Victoria's memory. His obsession drove him to extremes, pushing him to ignore ethics and morality. He saw science as a competition and sought recognition at any cost. This led him down an extremely dark path where lying and deception became tools to further his experiments. So right now, Oliver struggles to distinguish between right and wrong, and his obsession only made it worse. He can't tell the difference between his genuine love for Victoria and his desperate desire to bring her back to life. His actions reveal a deep emotional confusion where everything is molded up. Despite all this, Oliver managed to hide his dark side from everyone, even Professor Greystone. He put on a front as a dedicated and passionate scientist. His commitment to Victoria's memory masks his increasingly sinister actions. So, as time goes on, the web of lies and deceit Oliver has woven starts isolating him from his loved ones. His quest to bring Victoria back and his desire for supremacy pushed him to cross ethical boundaries. Oliver is now trapped in his own web of deception, struggling to keep his dark ambitions hidden from everyone. But just to be clear, he hasn't killed anyone yet. Actually, this is something we will be seeing throughout the challenge. I am really thinking about installing the extreme violence mod, but it all depends on the course of the challenge and how the story will go from now on. Please let me know what you think of that. If you are okay with this kind of mods, I kind of want to keep it family friendly, but I think I kind of lost the family friendly vibe when I came up with the idea of creating a mad scientist, but that's okay. We'll talk more about that later. So he conducts his experiments with bodies and cadavers from the university's medical wing, and he obtains the chemicals to preserve Victoria's current state and perform his tests in the laboratory he works on. So no, he's not a killer, he's not a murderer, but who knows? Maybe this is a line he will cross later on. Who knows? So despite his dark side, Oliver maintains contact with his brother and friends at college and work. He understands the importance of maintaining this mask to avoid raising suspicions. He can transition between these seemingly incompatible worlds very easily. In his interactions with his brother, Oliver is careful not to reveal the obsessive thoughts that haunt him. He presents himself as a loving and concerned brother, hiding the complex emotions of jealousy and resentment. Oliver also makes sure to maintain the illusion that his life is on the right track, even if behind the scenes he is consumed by his insane quest to resurrect Victoria. In college and at work, he has friends and colleagues which we will meet throughout the gameplay. Oliver maintains an apparently normal life, following a daily routine while reserving his moments of insanity for his experiments at nighttime. Those who know him have no idea that he's plotting such horrors in the shadows, except for Professor Greystone. Their relationship is something I really want to explore in game. So basically, that's the lowdown in Oliver's life. I plan on exploring and revealing more of his past in upcoming videos. I also want to show who Victoria was and focus on her story as well, but you'll have to see all of that during the challenge. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you are as excited as I am to start this challenge. Please comment down below your thoughts, your theories and suggestions, and let me know if you think our Oliver here can be saved or if he will lose his mind and sanity for good. Thanks for watching this video, thanks for all of the support, and I will catch you all on the next one. Bye bye!